Behind the charismatic smile of Ted Bundy lay a darkness that terrorized a nation. How could a handsome Pacific Northwest student morph into one of America's most feared killers? Imagine strolling through a sunlit college quad, laughter echoing under vintage lampposts, unaware of the silent threat closing in. In the 1970s, a string of vanishings shattered innocent routines and ignited a manhunt spanning coast to coast. This is the harrowing account of deception, pursuit, and the chilling revelation of true evil. Born on November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont, Theodore Robert Bundy arrived under a veil of secrecy. The son of an unwed mother, he was raised by grandparents who concealed his true parentage. In Tacoma, Washington, he excelled in school and by 1967 enrolled at the University of Washington, where his striking features and quiet confidence earned admiration. He volunteered at crisis hotlines, tutored peers, and seemed destined for law or politics. Yet behind his polished exterior lay a restless void, where resentment and dark impulses festered unseen. Spring of 1974 marked the first chilling glitches in the veneer of campus life. Reports trickled in of young women vanishing without a trace, brilliant students who walked home from the library and simply never arrived. At the University of Washington, a bright political science major failed to return from a date. In nearby parks, police discovered abandoned bicycles and scattered textbooks, silent evidence of struggle. A pattern emerged: a tall man with a broken arm, a whispered apology, and a plea for help. Witnesses recounted his gentle manner and courteous voice as he promised safety. Instead, he delivered terror. Investigators connected the dots and soon realized that under the guise of kindness, a predator stalked empowered young women across the Pacific Northwest. The first investigations met confusion. Homicide detectives mapped last known locations and interviewed friends who described a magnetic personality. All roads led to interviews with a calm-headed, well-dressed student named Ted Bundy. Yet suspicion alone could not convict him. For every report naming a man in a suit, another emerged claiming innocence. Then came a break in August 1975. Oregon authorities linked Bundy to multiple cases through forensic matches and eyewitness sketches. He was arrested in Utah on a parole violation, his pockets stuffed with burglary tools and ski masks. Handcuffed and wary, he denied wrongdoing, smiling politely at reporters. Yet his alibi frayed under scrutiny, and soon he faced charges in Colorado for 2 brutal campus slayings. In June 1977, inside a Colorado courthouse, Bundy appeared the least likely escape artist. He waited in a library alcove while guards patrolled unaware of his plan. Then, in a blur, he used a smuggled key to slip out, kicked open a door, and vaulted through a second-story window. He crashed 20 feet onto the courtyard below, vanished into Aspen's pines, and evaded capture. A statewide manhunt ensued. 6 days later, deputies found him at a phone booth, his benign smile belying the horror he'd unleashed. Back behind bars after recapture, Bundy orchestrated his second escape in December. In his cell's dim light, he fashioned tools from the ceiling's light fixture. Late one night, he climbed into a narrow crawl space and slithered through a maze of wires and pipes. At dawn, he slipped out of the jail's roof hatch and vanished into the cold Colorado winter. He drove to Grand Junction, then bought a plane ticket to Florida under an alias. Every mile carried whispers of death left behind in Washington and Oregon. Bundy was on the move again. When he arrived in Tallahassee, the dormitories of Florida State University offered fresh prey. On the night of January 15, 1978, he assaulted the Chi Omega sorority house. Under pretense of late-night visitor, he overpowered 4 young women, leaving 2 dead, 2 gravely injured. News of the massacre sent shockwaves through the nation. The FBI joined campus police, and every lead pointed toward a familiar visage: Bundy's. Yet as authorities honed their focus on a suspect from hundreds of miles away, he blended seamlessly into Florida's humid nights. The breakthrough came on February 15, 1978, in Pensacola. A routine traffic stop flagged Bundy's stolen vehicle. The trooper noticed mismatched identification and heavy grease under his fingernails. In that silent exchange of papers and questions, the manhunt's end came abruptly. Bundy sat in a passenger seat without protest, eyes cold and unreadable. Once in custody, interrogators unveiled evidence linking him to Kimberly Leach's abduction and murder. The youngest of his victims, 12 years old, her fate underscored the depth of his cruelty. The weight of Bundy's crimes soon bore down in a Tallahassee courtroom. As cameras rolled for the first nationally televised murder trial in American history, millions watched a twisted drama unfold. Jurors saw crime scene photos of skull fragments, bone shards, and carelessly discarded clothing. Defense attempts at diversion crumbled when forensic experts matched bite marks and fibers directly to Bundy. His own cross-examinations of witnesses revealed not remorse but arrogance. He reveled in the spotlight, twisting each word to preserve his myth of control. Families of victims stared him down from the gallery, grief etched across their faces. Every sob in the courtroom echoed the absence of their daughters, sisters, friends. The psychological battle waged between Bundy and the truth shivered through cable networks. When the jury delivered its verdict, guilty on all counts, the air vibrated with relief and sorrow. In 1979, a judge sentenced him to die in Florida's electric chair. For the first time, legal authority wrestled the darkness that Bundy seemed so adept at evading. Over the following decade, Bundy's appeals board bounced from one courtroom to another. Each motion brought fresh headlines and renewed public fascination. Psychiatrists classified him as a textbook psychopath, an elusive schematic of charm interlaced with violence. He claimed responsibility for 30 murders across 7 states, but most experts suspect more. His final confession came in a stained cell the night before execution. "I'm just what you would give me credit for," he whispered. "An animal." On January 24, 1989, at 7:16 p.m., Theodore Robert Bundy sat in the electric chair at Florida State Prison. The switch flipped, and the chamber fell silent. He gave no final statement. When technicians declared him dead, a nation exhaled. Yet Bundy's shadow lingered in legal reforms, victim advocacy groups, and the collective fear that evil can wear a kind face. Even today, textbooks ponder the question: how much horror remains hidden behind the next beguiling smile? While Bundy's execution closed his chapter, it could never revive the lives he stole. 30 confirmed deaths, countless more suspected, each a testament to broken trust. His story reminds us how easily evil camouflages itself in charm. By remembering his victims, we renew our vigilance against hidden darkness. Join us as we delve into Ted Bundy's crimes and the relentless pursuit of justice.